Hey friends, I want to thank you for your support of Studio Wesley. It's because of you that we're able to serve college-age young adults through this online platform. So I just want to offer another leadership encouragement, and I hope these are helpful for you. Feel free to email us in, message us back, on Patreon or however you connect with us, and let us know how you're receiving these messages. Um, the last few that I've offered have been out of me being honest about the season I'm in. It's a tough season. It's hard. I don't think it's going to be bad. I don't think it's a bad season, but it's definitely a hard season. And again, I think it's important for us to name it. I think it's important for us to be honest that sometimes these seasons in ministry are just really hard. And I also think that it's important for college-aged young adults to hear and see us navigate these tough, hard seasons. There's something to be said about what being able to model healthy, productive ways when life is really tough. I mean, we all want to put up our highlight reel and we all want our Instagram photos to be our best light. I mean, I'm thinking that I even don't look as great as I, sometimes look. You don't have to send any comments about that, by the way. But I am stressed. I'm tired and I'm trying to figure out how to get some more balance in my life in the midst of this hard season. And I'm trying, as I said in a past video, I'm trying to figure out how to deepen presence, and I'm trying to figure out how to not shrink away and shrink back from the things that I need to handle and deal with. And again, I just think that it's not just important for us to do that, but to do that as a means of teaching the young adults in our sphere of influence how to go through hard seasons, how to go through tough seasons, how to navigate them in a way that is healthy, because we're all going to have those kinds of seasons. It reminds me of some words out of Hebrews. I'll read it to you. Hebrews 12. It says, and these are familiar to many of us. So then let's also run the race that is laid out in front of us. And I'm just going to be honest. Anytime the Bible talks about running, I'm like, do you have to be talking about me? Because I hate running. I hate it. And yet there are seasons that I need to run. That's probably this one, but let me keep going. Since we have such a great cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let's throw off any extra baggage, get rid of the sin that trips us up, and fix our eyes on Jesus, faith's pioneer and perfecter. I love this part. He endured the cross, ignoring the shame, for the sake of the joy that was laid out in front of him, and sat down at the right side of God's throne. I want to tell you that I am grateful today that what I know of Jesus, what I've seen of Jesus, is not simply the part of Jesus' story where he sits down at God's throne. But we also got to see, if you will, him endure the cross. We got to see him ignore the shame that came with that. And this is helpful for us because then, Paul says that we don't just want to be like him in his glory, but we want to be like him and be joined with him in his suffering as well. There's something about being able to recognize that Jesus' suffering is something we can identify with. It gives us the ability to sort of track with him and to think, man, Jesus, he endured the cross. People were spitting at him. People were yelling at him. And I'm not, later on the Hebrew writer's like, you have not been persecuted to the point of shedding blood. Thank God. Thank God that's not what our story is, though these are tough seasons. And so we can look at Jesus. We can look at what he did, how he handled that moment, not just the moment on the cross, but all of those agonizing moments of Jesus recognizing when his friends were not on board with him, when people walked away from him in John chapter 6, when people literally did not understand the good that he was doing and wanted to push him out of town, when his own friends would betray him. We get to see these moments that Jesus suffered. And we get to watch how he models walking through all of those situations. And what I want to say is that in the same way that we look to Jesus and the ways that he models how he handles the tough seasons, tough days, tough weeks that he went through, in a weird way, but in a similar way, our young adults are looking at us in a very similar way. The young adults are watching us, how we deal with financial struggle, how we deal with mental health crises, how we deal with family stuff, how we deal with church stuff. They're watching us, and they're watching to see how we navigate it, and they're taking notes, my friends. And so I just want to remind you that there's so much more to these hard seasons than simply us going through them. But there are people who are paying attention to the ways we go through them. And here's the danger. The danger is not us going through the hard seasons and it not being great, like our posture not being awesome. That's actually not the danger. The danger is we never talk about the hard seasons. The danger is that we give off an impression that life is always great for us. And we can't do that, y'all. We cannot, we will sell our young adults a bill of goods if we don't also acknowledge the ways that sometimes life is hard and God feels absent. If we don't acknowledge the ways that this work that we do to serve them brings on daily stress, if we don't acknowledge that sometimes the seasons that we're in feel so hard that we have to do some intentional work to not shrink back from them. And so I just want to invite you, yes, to name. I want to invite you to name that you are in a hard season. And then I invite you to be honest about that in front of those who are paying attention. They need our witness, not just on the good days, but especially on the bad days. Thanks again for your support of CCW and Studio Wesley. Like I said, we just couldn't do it without you. We're very grateful for you. Thanks so much, friends. Be well.